Capital. Jason, welcome to this news hour. Thanks for joining us. So historically, just take us through what the extent of corruption in Ukraine has been, because a recent report from Transparency International puts corruption quite high in Ukraine, actually not even that far from Russia.
I think it's no secret that corruption has been endemic in the history of Ukraine, post-independence since 1991. But the important thing is that this is something that, in polls have shown year after year after year, citizens complain this is the greatest problem setting Ukraine back. And fortunately, though, there is signs that they are taking this fight seriously. I mean, I think it's obvious that Ukraine's leadership understands that if it wants to receive Western assistance, any signs of corruption would be absolutely catastrophically bad. Because there would be no support in any country of Europe or the United States or Turkey to have tax dollars spent on a country that's going to take or steal that money. And so Ukraine has a real imperative right now to combat corruption if it wants to continue receiving Western assistance.
Do you think that the war has forced them to ramp up this crackdown on corruption? Because many in Ukraine and those looking at it before the war would have thought that corruption should have been very high on the list of Zelensky's government and the governments before him to try to tackle and end.
Absolutely the case. And corruption, when Zelensky's first 2 years as president, one of the greatest criticisms was that he was not doing enough to combat corruption. All polling had indicated that it was the top issue for voters. And the corruption is something that is in all parts of society, whether it's the social sphere, it was formerly in the military procurement field as well. And we saw that yesterday with the search of the former interior minister's home. That search was because there is questions as to whether the helicopter that crashed a couple weeks ago that killed the current interior minister, whether the helicopter was purchased legitimately. As when the purchase was done, there was known to be problems with those helicopters, yet the then interior minister decided to purchase them. So now it's being investigated. Why did he make that decision? Because the results we saw is the terrible death of the current interior minister 2 weeks ago when his plane crashed in Kiev, or a helicopter crashed in Kiev. Apologies.
So those giving aid to Ukraine, any donors, whether they be countries, individuals, or organizations, how can they be assured then that the money is going to those who need it and to the war efforts and not being pocketed by corrupt individuals?
Well, that's precisely why they're launching this anti-corruption initiative, especially before Friday's summit, is because they want to demonstrate that they are taking this seriously, that there is not going to be stolen money. And they've done a lot of things. They've begun new hotlines where people can tip off on corruption or money that's being taken or overpricing of goods. They are really trying to make an effort, especially in light of the assistance from the West. They understand that this is the most important thing, and I really do believe as well, it is the most important thing for Ukraine to tackle at this moment if it wishes to receive foreign assistance, is to fight corruption. And that is their Achilles heel. If there's shown to be corruption, it would be a catastrophic result for Ukraine's ability to continue receiving assistance. And so they are going to do everything they can now to tackle the plight of corruption.
Jason Smart, appreciate your analysis. Live to us there from Kiev.